Hello, and welcome to the Soulful Self-Development Podcast. I'm so glad you're here. My name is Hannah Sutherland. I'm a lover of all things self-care, personal development, and spirituality. I have created this podcast to help you grow into the most soulful version of yourself while creating more joy, magic, and purpose in your everyday life. If you're ready to live a life so full, then you, my friend, have come to the right place. Thank you so much for tuning in today, and now let's dive deep. Hello, you beautiful souls, and welcome back to another episode of the Soulful Self-Development Podcast. I am so excited for today's topic because I could talk about it forever. It is astrology. This topic is very complex and has many different parts to it, so this will actually be the start of a series. Tomorrow, March 21st, is the first day of Aries season, which is the first zodiac sign. So I will be releasing an episode all about Aries, but I wanted to release this episode about astrology and a little bit of the ideology behind it all, so that if astrology isn't something that you know much about, you can start to have a better understanding of it all. And I personally find astrology to be such a helpful and powerful tool, not only to understand myself, but also to help me understand the people around me. And as soon as I started to learn about astrology and understand it better, just so much started to make sense for me. And I'm hoping that I can share my knowledge with you guys and help you guys see just how beautiful and intricate and well woven it is. And some people see astrology as being a little woo-woo, but I absolutely love astrology because it is all about energy. And there are so many different energies at play with astrology, and just how they all work together and times multiply together. And it is very intricate and detailed. Every single person's astrology chart is different. And there are so many, probably infinite ways that your chart can be laid out, and it just makes you who you are. And everybody is different, which is just so amazing. I think that it is so cool. I think when people hear astrology, sometimes they're quick to judge and just think it's about horoscopes, and maybe they only know their sun sign, but it's actually so much more than that. And I love astrology, but I do not follow my horoscope. That is not what I use it for. I more use it for a tool in helping me understand all kinds of energies at play, not just the energies that are within each of us, but it also is very important because of the energy in the atmosphere. And because the sun moves into a new sign every month essentially, and the moon moves into a new sign every 2.5 days. And that alone just has a lot of effect on our energy in our everyday lives. Not to mention within our own charts and how our personal energy is the way it is because of different placements in our charts and how it all lies out. When we look at our chart, if this is something that you're interested in doing, you do need to know the exact day, time, and location that you were born in order to calculate your birth chart, because essentially your birth chart is a snapshot of the sky at the moment you were born. And because we are made of the stars, our soul travels through the stars to get here and comes through a portal, and we get birthed into this world. And so when we can pinpoint that exact moment, that exact time that we are born, and also location, because that is how you calculate your rising sign, we can actually learn so much about ourselves, things about our past lives. I will get into it all, but it can tell you a lot of information. So to start out, I'm going to talk about your sun sign. This is probably the sign that you do know. This sign changes every single month. So it is where the sun is in your chart when you were born. For example, my birthday is June 4th, so I am a Gemini. And these ones are probably the most well-known ones. And it is part of your big three in astrology is your sun, your moon, and your rising sign. So what your sun sign represents is essentially that part of you, that energy is illuminated or lit up in you. And people find that part of your energy to be exciting. And each of these zodiac energies have their own unique energy and traits to that energy. So for example, because I'm born June 4th, I'm a Gemini. So Gemini's energy is an air sign. It's very much about communicating. I'm full of ideas. It's one of the exciting energies. The sign is twins, so a lot of duality there. And I will go all in to what Gemini is about in Gemini season. But that's just an example of the sun. For me, I love talking, hence that I have a podcast. I'm very chatty. I'm full of ideas. I have quite a bubbly personality, and that is part of the Gemini energy. If you were born on the cusp, so that means like if you're born like at the very end of one sign or the very beginning of a sign, you can actually have energy, a mix of energy from both the signs. So if you never feel like you feel fully like just like the one sign, for example, I have a cousin that's a Taurus, but her birthday is the day before it changes to Gemini, and she told me that she never really felt like that was her. And when I see her totally more as a Gemini than I do as a Taurus. I can see both of them in her, but I see her as more bright and bubbly and exciting than I do stubborn. So just know that if you're right at the cusp, then you can take on traits of both. And if you feel more like the other energy than you do the one that it says is your sun sign, then honor how you feel because you know your own energy more than anybody else. When it comes to your moon sign, that is calculated by wherever the moon is when you were born. And the moon changes every 2 to 2.5 days. So sometimes you have to know the exact time that you're born, but if you were born on a day that the moon was in the same sign the whole day, then you can figure out your moon sign if you don't know the time that you're born. My moon is in Aquarius, and when I learned this about myself, I really felt that I had a better understanding for myself because the moon represents your emotions. And it's how you feel deepest on the inside. And that part of you, you may only share with the people that you're absolutely closest with. It may not be well known to the people around you. It's not a part of your energy that people are reading, just meeting you. It's like your deepest, most inner feelings. It's your inner world. And my moon's in Aquarius. And it is so true for me. Aquariuses are the humanitarians of the signs. I am always worried about the world. I carry the weight of the world on my shoulders often. I have to remind myself to put it down. But it's just who I am on the inside. I just want to make the world a better place. I love people. And I do genuinely want to help with this world. So it makes perfect sense that my moon is in Aquarius. So next is your rising sign. So your rising sign is calculated by whatever sign is at the eastern horizon at the moment you were born. And this sign changes every 2 hours. So you must know your exact time of birth to find out this sign. And this sign is very important because rising or ascendant sign is in your first house of astrology. And that sets which energies are in all of your houses of astrology. So that's why it's important to know the exact moment you're born for this one. And this energy in this sign is essentially like the mask that you wear to the outside world. So it's how people see you when they first meet you, and it's related to your appearance and your self-expression. It's essentially your social personality. So if you think about your sun, moon, and rising, think about your rising sign being on the outside, then your sun sign being another inner circle, and then your moon sign's the innermost circle. So your people first see your rising sign, that's how you come off to them, then they get to know you and they see your sun sign energy and how that part of your personality is so vibrant. And then if they really get to know you on a deep level, they will understand your moon sign and how you feel in your emotions. My rising sign is in Libra, so I like to create balance in all situations. It makes me an easy person to get along with because I absolutely do not like conflict. I'm good at reading situations, and it makes it easy for me to be in different groups of people because I can be chatty and outgoing, or I can also be quiet and laid back. And I'm good at reading that because as a Libra rising, I just don't like to be the odd one out. I don't want to stick out like a sore thumb. So I'm good at kind of blending in that way because Libra, the sign of Libra, is all about balance. The sign is a scale, and Libra risings are also can be seen as very beautiful to people because it is ruled by the planet Venus, which is the planet of love and beauty, but we will get to that. So for people that have Libra risings, often are seen as beautiful, even if they might not be physically the most attractive. They just give off such a beautiful energy that people will be naturally attracted to them, and just a part of Libra energy. So there are 12 zodiac signs or energies. It goes Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Leo, Virgo, Libra, Scorpio, Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces. Each of these signs have a unique energy, and I will go through each energy on their own and make an entire episode for each one because there is so much information about each one. So stay tuned for that throughout the entire year because I'm going to do it throughout each season. So moving on to astrology houses. There are 12 houses in astrology, and each house represents a different area or aspect of your life. And like I said earlier, your rising sign is your first house in your first house of astrology. And then traveling counterclockwise, you will go up. So it starts at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, all the way to 12. And your energies go in order as well. So Aries is the first one. So if you have Aries in the first house, then you have Taurus in the second house, Gemini in the third house, Cancer in the fourth house, and so on. I have Libra in the first house, so that means I have Scorpio in the second, Sagittarius in the third, Capricorn in the fourth, and so on. It will always be in the same order. It just depends which one you have in the first house. And this is important because each energy of the houses, which we will go through, because they represent something else, and because each energy of the zodiac signs is a different energy, you almost have to multiply those energies together to understand what it's like to have each sign in each house. And not only that, but we also have planets and nodes that are energy at play in our chart. And as we already discussed, the sun and moon, which are also part of this energy. So there are 8 planets plus the sun and moon plus the north and south node. So like we said earlier, the sun is what is bright and exciting about you. That energy is illuminated within you. The moon represents your emotions. Mercury is the planet of communication. It rules the signs both Gemini and Virgo. Venus is the planet of love and beauty. It rules Taurus and Libra. Mars is the planet of action, determination, and aggression, which rules Aries. Jupiter is the planet of luck, good fortune, and spirituality, and it rules Sagittarius. Saturn is the planet of discipline, regulations, and restrictions, which rules Capricorn. Uranus is the planet of technology, rebellion, and innovation, which rules Aquarius. Neptune is the planet of dreams, psychic abilities, and creativity, which rules Pisces. Pluto is the planet of power, transformation, death, and rebirth and destruction, and it rules Scorpio. The sun rules Leo, and the moon rules Cancer. Then you also have your north and south node. So the north node symbolizes where you're going in this lifetime. It represents the energy that you will need to fulfill your soul's mission and to be connected to your passion, talents, and to find the growth that you need to get there. Whereas your south node represents the lessons, wisdom, and baggage that your soul carries with you, which is connected to your past lives, where your soul left off in your past life, essentially. Your north and south nodes are always in opposite signs of each other because they're 180 degrees apart on the chart. So now I'm going to go into the 12 houses of astrology and what each house represents. So the first house of astrology, the phrase is I am. It is related to the energy of Aries. It is ruled by Mars. This house represents yourself, your ego, your identity, physical appearance, and it is essentially how other people perceive you. And that's why it is like the energy of Aries. Also the energy of your rising sign, like that's what your rising sign means. So that's why it's such a part of your big three, because it is a part of who you are and how you identify. Your second house is I have. It is similar to the energy of Taurus. It's ruled by Venus, and this house is about money, income, work, physical senses, values, possessions, daily routines, and also material possessions. The third house is I think. It is related to the energy of Gemini, ruled by Mercury. It is mind, thinking, communication, language, platonic bonds with siblings and friends, neighbors, community, and cooperation. The fourth house is I nurture. This is similar to the energy of Cancer. It is ruled by the moon, and it is essentially your home, parents, roots, inner security, emotions, mother, family, and children energy. Your fifth house is I serve, and it is your personal creativity. It is similar to the energy of Leo, and it is ruled by the sun. This is your romance, love, fertility, childlike energy, spirit, joy, inner child, drama, self-expression, and creativity. The sixth house is I serve in your daily life. This energy is similar to the energy of Virgo. It is ruled by Mercury. It is work, health, self-improvement, fitness, analytical nature, organization, diet, helpfulness, wellness, and systems. The seventh house of astrology is I partner. It is similar to the energy of Libra, and it is ruled by Venus. This house is all about marriage and partnerships, contracts, sharing, equality, business deals, unions, diplomacy, harmony, 50-50 relationships and partnerships. So this is why it's marriage and like business partners as well, and anything to do with contracts. The eighth house is I circulate. This is your shared resources. It is similar to the energy of Scorpio. It is ruled by Pluto, and the energy of this house is sex, death, other people's money, like inheritance, joint ventures, transformation, mysteries, and joint bank accounts. The ninth house is I explore. It is similar to the energy of Sagittarius. It is ruled by Jupiter, and the energy of this house has to do with travel, higher education, law and religion, wisdom, ethics, learning, cross-culture relations, teaching, publishing, entrepreneurship, truth, and this shows where you have unwavering faith and optimism. The 10th house is I achieve, and this is similar to the energy of Capricorn, ruled by Saturn. This is your outer world. So career, status, reputation, purpose, power, long-term goals, structure, public image, fame, experts, men, fathers, masculinity, and family legacies. The 11th house is I aspire, and it is similar to the energy of Aquarius, ruled by Uranus. This house is about group contribution, friends, groups, goals, aspirations, social awareness, humanitarianism, technology, hopes, wishes, future, science, math, community, and innovation. The 12th house is I Dream. This is similar to the energy of Pisces. It is ruled by Neptune. This is about your spiritual life, endings, healing, closure, spirituality, karma, old age, subconscious, mind, limiting beliefs, the afterlife, addiction, self-sabotage, fantasy, and transitions. So, astrology is truly very complex, but by starting to learn about these different energies and how they all fit together, it can be easier to understand all this energy, how it's at play in your life, and also how it can help you better understand others too. So, having a planet in and a sign in each different house means different things, and I like to think of it as energy multiplication. So, for example, if you have a Leo in the first house, then you're going to come off to other people as bright, exciting, courageous. But if you have Virgo in the first house, then you might come off as more quiet, but you are very organized. And if you have Sagittarius in the first house, you may come off as super adventurous. You may come off as a warrior, fighting, always wanting to fight for the people you love, very strong and ambitious and mature. Well, when it comes to planets, for example, if you have Mars in the first house, people may find you to be intimidating at first. The energy of Mars is quite intimidating, and having that right in your first house, that energy is like right there for people to see. But if you have the Sun in your first house, people might see you as being so bright and exciting right away. If you have your Moon in your first house, you will come off as very emotional. And so each one it's different. Each planet is different in each house, and each sign is different in each house, and each planet is different in each sign. So you have to multiply together all of these energies to figure out. But there's so much information out there on the internet about astrology. So if you look up your chart and you see what energy you have in what sign, if you look up your chart and you see what sign you have in each house, you can literally Google Leo in the 11th house, and it'll give you information about what that means. And you can do the same thing for planets. You can say Moon in the 7th house. You can say Uranus in the 5th house, and you can also say Uranus in Cancer or wherever your planets are placed. I will do a full episode on planets alone and what they all mean, because each planet moves at a different rate. So there's some planets that move quite quickly, but then there are some planets that move so slowly that an entire generation will have the same planet in the same placement. But everybody will have it in it, but you can have it in any one of the 12 houses. So I hope that this isn't super confusing, because there truly is so much that goes into understanding astrology. And I do want to make a lot of episodes about this topic, because I have so much that I can share with you guys, but I don't want to overwhelm you with all this information. And so all of this is energy that is at play within us, within our energy and the people around us. But astrology also has an effect on the energy within the atmosphere. So when we think about that, the sun moves into a new sign every month. That energy within our life is illuminated at that time. So it is officially tomorrow Aries season, and I'm going to be talking about this in my Aries episode. But the energy of Aries is highlighted. So this is the time to focus on who you are. And I think that March 21st should be the new year, that because that's like the best day for it. It's the very start of spring, and the energy of Aries is so good for like starting something new because it's fiery and it's passionate and it's very like you driven. It's similar to the energy of the first house, which is your ego and your identity and your sense of self. And then the moon moves into a new sign every 2.5 days. And the moon rules our emotions. So not only does that matter where your moon was when you were born, but the moon is always changing, which means that our emotions are always going to be affected by these different energies. And when you start to understand all of these energies and you track the moon, then you can see how the moon being in each sign has a different effect on us and what's going on within our emotions. Say the moon's in Aries, you might be feeling fiery, you might be quick to anger that day, you might be feeling quite aggressive. But if the moon's in Gemini, you might be feeling extra chatty, you might be feeling like you need to have this conversation you've been putting off, you might feel like you're more likely to get in an argument. If the moon's in Pisces, you might be having crazy, wild, vivid dreams. Also, it was just Pisces season. Was the very end of Pisces season. If you were having crazy dreams for the last month, it's because the energy of Pisces is all about dreams and illusions. I was having crazy dreams. I'm always quite a dreamer, but my dreams were insane. I had about 7 dreams that the world is ending, so I'm not really sure what I'm supposed to take from that, but yeah, I have very, very, very vivid dreams, and Pisces energy is all about dreams and illusions, so usually my dreams are super and heightened in that time of year, and also when the moon is in Pisces as well, and your emotions might feel a little dreamy. So this is just the start of astrology, and hopefully I'll be able to explain more and more and more as my show grows on. It's not something I'm going to talk about every single week, but I will make more and more episodes about it throughout the year as the seasons come and go, and to help you understand the energy at play in the atmosphere as it comes through. I hope that you enjoyed today's episode. If you have any questions, always feel free to shoot me a message. I absolutely love hearing from you guys. Stay tuned for a bonus episode coming out tomorrow as well for the Aries season. Happy first day of spring. Happy new zodiac year. This is going to be my new year from now on. And I love you guys so much. Bye! Thank you so much for tuning in today and making soulful self-development possible. I am grateful for each and every one of you. If you enjoyed the show today, make sure you rate, review, and subscribe. Stay tuned for new episodes coming out every Wednesday. You can connect with me on social media at soulful.self.development. I would absolutely love to hear from you. You guys make my heart so full. See you next time.